It's almost like it's running from him, and he keeps going towards it and towards it longer and longer, and finally dawn breaks and Imo realizes that he's been chasing the North Star thinking it was a fire for like the last 8 hours. Because meth.
Now I am about to check out some viewer requests, and this one is special from, we about to hit up the homie John Roust.
Doing meth while skiing. Did I get your attention? Today we're talking about Imo Koivunen, the Finnish Special Forces soldier that took his entire unit's supply of crank and then proceeded to troll the Soviets and himself for 2 weeks about it. They weren't supposed to. And if you don't know, Pervitin is the German miracle drug that came out in 1938, also known as meth. And just to be clear, this isn't like Jesse Pinkman cooking it in the back of a van, putting chili powder in it. This is high-quality pharmaceutical-grade nose torque, okay? This is inhalable horsepower, and this man's about to take some.
Goddamn right.
So Imo pops off the lid and he wants to dump a single
inhalable horsepower. I am going to use that shit.
Pill into his hand, which is the recommended dose. The problem is the Pervitin has been sitting in his pocket, half warm against his body, the other half getting cold against the outside of his jacket, and it is now congealed into one gigantic meth nugget, and the whole nugget falls into his mitten. He's unable to break off a singular piece because, well, he has mittens on and he doesn't have the dexterity, so he says, fuck it, and eats the entire nugget of meth, which was roughly 30 pills at one point. Okay, fast forward like 45 seconds. Imo feels incredible. He is a new man. He has gone from dragging ass to tripping balls, and he has had a life-altering revelation that he's been put on this planet to do 2 things and 2 things only, and that is to outrun the Soviets and steal catalytic converters, and those aren't even going to be invented for like another 35 years. So guess...
You forgot to put the meth part in there though, man. Gotta be 3 goals. Stealing stuff, running from the enemy, and snorting meth. I just don't know how you do it because I've never done meth. Definitely snorting it though.
That's what we're doing. We're outrunning these Soviets. This man begins blazing a path through unpacked snow quicker than anybody ever has, ever. And the Soviets are just watching these guys take off like a rocket, like...
They've gone to plaid.
Over the course of the next hour, they managed to outrun the Soviets so bad that they just gave up. So they finally stopped, they regrouped, they wanted to see if anybody had been shot, they wanted to make sure everybody was doing okay before they carried on with their mission and journeyed back home. At that point, Imo did not sit still. He is pacing, he's walking around, he's talking to himself, and that's when his buddies realized, oh boy, Imo is higher than draft pussy on a fucking extension ladder, we gotta do something. So they decide it's probably a good idea to take away all of his ammunition and his knife so he doesn't hurt himself or somebody else. So they take the ammo away from him, they turn around, they go to put it in somebody else's backpack so they can carry it, turn back around, Imo is fucking gone. Fast forward an unspecified amount of time later, and Imo wakes up, looks around, has no idea where he is. You see, Imo had blacked out. And when I say blacked out, I don't mean he laid down and fell asleep. I mean he proceeded to ski 62 miles in a random direction. And
you know what I mean? Because when you do meth, not that I know, but when you do meth, you begin to get a meth detection radar system built inside of you naturally. And so you are able to know exactly where all the meth is within like a 148 mile radius in all directions. How Predator sniffs out its prey in the Predator movies, that's how it is with meth heads. They know exactly where it is, and that's why he blacked out.
And then laid down and fell asleep. And he is now just waking up realizing that he has no recollection of which direction he went or came from, and he has no idea where he is. At this point, a Soviet soldier hops out from behind a tree and begins shooting at Imo. Imo panics, gets to his feet, grabs his gun, lifts it, fires at the Soviet soldier, click, fuck. His friends had taken all of his ammunition. So he grabs his empty gun and throws it at the Soviet soldier. It hits him and he explodes into a pile of snow. Imo, what the fuck? Looks up. Oh, it was just a tree branch covered in snow the whole time. He is now hallucinating. So not really knowing what else to do, he's straps his skis back on and proceeds to ski around looking for his friends or anything, really. And
this nigga tried to shoot a tree. Get the crack, bitch! Shit! That's right, I'm doing the crack. Damn, I gotta left that crack, man.
After an hour or two, thank God, he sees his friend's camp off in the distance, and they have a fire going. It's all gonna be okay, we're good, he's gonna be safe. So Imo takes off skiing towards the camp. He's skiing. Imo skis right into the middle of the camp. Cool guy power slide. Psh. Friends, did you miss me? He looks at his buddies. His buddies look at him. He looks at his buddies. Those aren't his buddies, those are the Soviets. Shit. Time to go. Imo takes off again. The Soviets attempt to chase him for a little bit, but I mean, the man is basically tweakers on ice right now. You've got no chance at actually catching him. So, Imo then proceeds to ski until he's tired, and then he lays down and goes to sleep just on the ground outside. He wakes up, it's dark out, he can't see anything, and he realizes, hey, I'm hungry. So he gets a fire going, and then he walks around, grabbing some pine buds and leaves and whatever else he can find, sticking it in his canteen cup, grabs some snow, puts that in there, cooks it over the fire, and kind of mashes it all together in this like pine bud stew gruel type thing. He eats it, he thinks it's fucking delicious, one of the best meals he's ever had, because, well, meth. Then he goes back to bed. Wakes back up, still full of energy, decides to...
Bro, I gotta get on this doing meth shit, man. Meth sounds delicious. It's like cracking a can, or a pipe, or a syringe. How do you do meth? Where would you suck it from? Terrible, terrible thinking. We're gonna edit that out. I don't... Oh my God.
He's gonna go look for his buddies more. He skis around, he skis and he skis all day long, and then he finds a cabin. He walks up to the cabin.
Yeah, just stick to weed. Don't do that other shit, man. The other stuff, it's literally for the birds. I don't even think birds do meth. Have you ever heard of a bird doing meth? See, you just got your answer. Stick to weed, man. Just stick to weed.
Grabs a doorknob. It's real. It's not a hallucination. So, next thing, he strips all the copper out of it. No, I'm just kidding. He opens the door because it's unlocked, because this is a tradition in this part of the world where there's, you know, people could freeze to death. You just leave the cabin unlocked in case somebody is in Imo's situation. You don't want them to freeze to death. So, Imo goes inside. He gets a fire going. Now, because of the meth, Imo elects to light the fire in the middle of the cabin on the floor rather than in the fireplace because, you know, obviously. He then proceeds to go to bed, and all throughout the night, the fire keeps getting hotter and hotter, so he keeps like shimmying away from it and shimmying away from it over.
Until he realizes his fucking barn is on fire. I'ma say it again. I keep flip-flopping. Don't do meth, guys. About 2 minutes ago, I said, hey, meth sounds delicious. I've changed my mind. I don't think it does.
Over and over again. And then finally, his back hits a wall, and he wakes up and realizes that the entire cabin is on fire.
Yes.
So he's like,
Yep.
shit. So he gets up, goes outside the
meth.
cabin, puts his back
Shit.
against the wall of the outside of the cabin, and then goes back to sleep. Meth. So Imo wakes up again.
This motherfucker said meth. Da-da-da-da-da. Batman, meth symbol. Meth addicts away.
The outside of the cabin, and then goes back to sleep.
Meth nigga.
So Imo wakes up again. It's dark out. He hears growling off in the distance as there's a pair of yellow eyes staring at him. He looks behind him, the cabin completely burnt to a crisp as these eyes keep getting closer and closer, and there's growling, and out of the shadows leaps Hugh Jackman. Wait, what the fuck?
Motherfucker, what?
Sorry, a Wolverine, not the Wolverine. A Wolverine, still, I mean, it's better, but not a lot better, okay? This thing is 65 pounds of teeth, claws, fur, and bad attitude. And this thing will
Hugh Jackman comes jumping out of the bushes with his claws there. Oh, my bad, hold on, let me see that now. Oh, a Wolverine, not the Wolverine. This guy's fucking funny. I like this guy.
absolutely kill Imo if Imo lets it. Imo is now in a fight for his life, so he pulls out his knife and begins fighting.
Even I wouldn't fight a meth head, nigga. Too much determination, bro.
A fucking Wolverine while tripping out on meth.
Yep.
He is kicking and punching and stabbing this Wolverine, and he finally gets on top of the Wolverine as he
And it's a stop sign.
straddles it and plunges his knife into the Wolverine's chest as the life from the Wolverine leaves its body and it falls limp to the ground. At that point, Imo remembers, wait a minute, my friends took my knife. He looks at his knife. That's not his knife. That's his compass, and now it's broke. Shit. I mean, also kind of cool, though, because he just killed a Wolverine with a compass. He looks down at the dead Wolverine. He's sitting on top of a log. He had hallucinated the entire thing again.
I knew it!
Meth.
Meth. Shit, bro.
So Imo gets up off the log that he just killed, looking around, not knowing what to do. In the darkness of night, he sees a fire off in the distance. So he straps on his skis and starts making his way towards that fire. And he's skiing, and he's skiing, and he's skiing all night long. And he's going, and he's going, and this fucking fire is not getting any closer. It's almost like it's running from him, and he keeps going towards it, longer and longer. And finally, dawn breaks, and Imo realizes that he's been chasing the North Star, thinking it was a fire for like the last 8 hours. Because meth. So now it's morning. Imo still has no idea where he's going, so it's like, well, better find some copper. I mean, my friends. He's got to find his friends, so he just starts skiing around looking for any signs of human life at this point. And he's skiing, and he's skiing, and he's going, and he's going. And he finally comes across this abandoned German forward observational base, and he starts making his way towards it. The problem with this was, whenever the Germans abandoned something in World War II, they usually booby-trapped it, and that's what happened here because Imo skis over a landmine, blowing up his foot, throwing him to the ground, and Imo's like, that's it, I'm dead for sure. There's no way I'm making it out of this. And he just lays there.
But he forgot about one of meth's most special abilities. Since you're already so close to death from doing so much of the meth in the first place, it's hard to kill him. You gonna have a hard time murking the meth head, bro. Good luck. Cause them niggas fight to the bone, cause they're already skin and bones, nigga. They're already built like a whole apocalypse zombie out this bitch. They ain't got nothing left. You can't take what they already ain't got, nigga. Makes perfect sense if you don't think about it.
You have no idea how long he laid there. He said he laid there for a week, but that dude's high as a kite on meth. He could have been there for 45 minutes. We have no idea. But he lays there and he lays there, literally too high to die, and then he just gets bored and he's like, fine, I'll live. And he gets up and he starts walking back towards the base again. He makes it all the way to the building, grabs a doorknob. Well, at least the base is real. The landmine sure as fuck was real. The base better be real. The base is real, grabs a doorknob, opens the door. That's booby trap 2. Blows up in his face, yeets him 30 yards the other direction as he lands flat on his back with the door on top of him. And he's like, okay, now for sure I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm making
You don't never underestimate the power of meth. That's real.
it out of this. I'm done. And he just lays there. He completely gives up and he just waits for death to come get him. And he's laying there, and 1 day passes, and 2 days pass, and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7 days pass, and he's still just laying there like, this is taking forever. And then finally, some Finnish soldiers come up and are like, hey, do you want some help? And he's like, holy shit, yeah, that'd be great. So the Finnish guys start making their way over to him, and then one of them steps on a fucking landmine. And then the other 2 Finnish soldiers are like, well, we can only save one of you, and we're gonna save the guy that we came with. If we get this guy saved, we'll let him know to come back and save you later. Peace, goodbye. And just left him laying there again. So he thinks to himself, maybe if I can survive a couple more days, I might actually make it out of this. So he starts trying. He gets a little fire going next to him. He starts melting snow in his canteen cup to drink water to hydrate. A Siberian jay at some point lands next to him, and he takes a ski pole and smacks it to death, pulls the Siberian jay over to him, grabs it, and just Ozzy Osbournes this bird raw, just eats the whole thing, trying to get any amount of calories inside of him. And then after 3 more days, they come back and they save Imo, and he completely blacks out. Imo comes to, he's in a Finnish hospital where he's informed that he has been missing for 14 days, and they found him 250 miles from where he originally departed his friends. He now weighs a mere 95 pounds and has a resting heart rate currently of 200 beats per minute, 14 days after taking all of the meth. So Imo proceeds to do the logical thing, makes a full recovery, and lives a long, happy life until passing away at 71 in 1989 because he's Finnish and that's just how they get down. Yeah, if you're not picking up what I'm trying to tell you, this man actually may have seen Star Wars, the original series, in theater, okay? Could you imagine him taking his kids to the movie theater just being like, we didn't call it the Force back in my day. We called it Pervidin. Seriously, it's pretty funny that the only 2 Finnish soldiers that I know off the top of my head are Imo and Simo Hoya. Simo, deadliest sniper of all time, over 500 kills. Imo, the most unkillable tweaker ever. Don't worry, this story keeps going. Meth. Imo's son was interviewed about
Meth. That shit just make me laugh every time I see it now. He just has to say meth.
his dad, to which he said that his dad never really talked much about his time in service, but there was one point later in Imo's life when he decided to write in to a local newspaper that was having a competition for who had the best craziest military story ever. And he wrote his story down, mailed it in, and he was informed, congratulations, you've got second. How the fuck did this guy get second place with this story? Did Simo Hoya enter the same competition? Because that's the only logical explanation, other than that there was some Karen on the judge board that was like, I don't know, this story seems a little too unbelievable if you ask me. Bah. To which my argument is, look at him. Do you think that guy's lying about this story? Do you really? Because homeboy looks like he's about to hit a T intersection and go straight, okay? That's not hair.
He still looks like he does meth. I believe him.
Product. He just moves that fucking fast now. There's no way he's lying about this story, and I'm legitimately mad he didn't win this fucking competition for some reason. Okay, this story is getting out of hand. We need to end this video. I guess
that was possibly one of the funniest YouTube videos I've seen in a long time, bro. That was too funny, bro.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, and or subscribe. It's your boy BlastphamousHD. Twisms.